Boys, MrBeast getting cancelled again. When his name is in the news, I make a video, dudes. Alright, Mogul Mail. Ludwig. See what he has to say.
I've been posting a little bit less on this channel, but it's not because of a lack of things to talk about. I could have made 3 videos on Rosanna calling out MrBeast, apologizing to MrBeast, and then, redacting said apology to MrBeast. But I want to make sure the videos I make are things I care about and am also informed about. And if I don't give a shit about it, I don't need to make a video. There's nothing that I'm beholden to. I don't have to push out 7 videos a week or whatever. I can just do it when I feel it. And I think that's a better relationship to have. So that way, when I make something, it's something that I also want to watch, because I've been thinking about it for a while. And I've been thinking about something for a while lately. And it's the new MrBeast drama. Not the Rosanna one. There's some new stuff. Yes, it is a bi-weekly affair these days. And if you don't know, MrBeast is in some hot water because he built 100 wells in Africa.
Now, here's my first point. MrBeast is getting canceled because he built 100 wells in Africa. Okay? Now, as Ludwig will get into, the reason he's in hot water isn't because Twitter's pissed. It's because there's articles written by Yahoo and such about the Kenyan government, the African government, whatever they are, complaining that a white male is coming over and making it look like they need handouts. The one thing I will say, that's racist, number one. 2 things. Number 2, if a white male YouTuber, now, the biggest YouTuber, I get that, but if a white male YouTuber has to come over to your country to give 500,000 of your population drinkable water, fuck your government. Your government is dog shit and shouldn't be in power. Do you see MrBeast coming to Canada and giving us maple syrup? Nope. Because it's not a necessity. Water and food and medicine. Africa wouldn't need handouts like this if their government put the wells in theirself. Whoa. What a crazy fucking take. Anyway, I think this is insane. I think this is ridiculous. Shouldn't even be a thing.
But I have a bigger theory. He's not actually in hot water.
I agree.
And the bigger problem we have to talk about today is dog shit journalism. But first, let's get through the context. If you didn't see MrBeast's latest upload, he said it took him 8 months of preparation to make and a whole lot of money, but he did what the title says.
This is the first of 100 wells we're gonna build in this video.
Now, to be fair, I'm not gonna go to Africa to check if he made these 100 wells, but why would he lie? And 2, if he did lie, it would come out pretty fucking quick.
And then he did it. I mean, I didn't go look at the wells myself personally, but I'm pretty sure he's not lying. That'd be pretty bad to lie about. He made 100 wells.
Families will come.
Way to take my fucking smoke, Ludwig.
And people were happy because then they had access to clean water. Good.
And I did watch this video. Incredible. And people are complaining that he's what do they call it? Shit. They call it like a philanthropist, philanthropist utilizing their following to make money, right? So like you give a homeless man on the street some money and you film it. That, you know, whatever. Maybe you don't have the money and you want to give it to a homeless person because you'll get a lot of views to get that money back. Sure, whatever. You're doing good, you're getting the money back, whatever. In this scenario, of course he's fucking filming it. Of course. Why would he not? 1, looks great for America. For humans, looks wonderful, great message sent. Also, the amount of money he makes off that video, if he has a sponsorship, I don't know if he does, but if the amount of money that he makes off that video, or he can make in the future with investments in the future, being like, wow, we want to help this because everyone's talking about it. How do you think he's paying for the goddamn wells? Huh? How do you expect him to pay for 100 wells in Africa to give 500,000 people, 500,000 people, drinkable water for the rest of their lives? How do you expect him to pay for it? I know he's rich. Who gives a fuck? You can't just expect someone to do something. So making content gives him that money back, or a portion at least. So
that's a good thing. I feel like, you know, yeah, we could all pretty much agree. Good that there are wells where there were not wells before.
Yep.
Technically, I think they're not called wells anymore. They're like boring holes. I don't know. I'm not a zoologist, but there it is. And MrBeast himself, right before this video came out, said, I already know I'm going to get canceled because I uploaded a video helping people. And to be 100% clear, I don't care. I'm always going to use my channel to help people and try to inspire my audience to do the same.
Yep.
And then smiling face with open mouth and also cold sweat emoji attached to it. And then, just like he predicted, MrBeast got canceled. Yup. Yahoo News reports, while American YouTuber MrBeast's goal was to provide clean drinking water for 500,000 people, activists say his actions shame the Kenyan government and help perpetuate the stereotype that, quote, Africa's dependent on handouts.
It's not a stereotype. If your government isn't making the wells for Africa, if your government isn't ensuring that your population has drinkable water, it's not a stereotype. It's a fact. If your government isn't putting these wells in, which is obviously possible, to give drinking water to millions, I mean, it's a fact. It's not a stereotype that you depend on handouts. If it's not happening and someone has to make it happen from the exterior, it's a fact.
Whoa, pretty scathing article here from Yahoo News, and it got picked up by a couple of people.
And fuck Yahoo, by the way.
This is ridiculous. The real thing that makes these activists mad is that MrBeast solved the problem for little money and little time, showing that everything's corrupt. And Colin said, report, very journalistically, activists are upset at YouTuber MrBeast for building 100 wells across Africa. And then said, with a direct quote here, they're actually mad because MrBeast was a white male solving the problem. Quote, I've been doing this for 15 years, but we've been struggling to continue the work because of fundraising, awareness, advocacy. That all takes work, says the founder of Face Africa. And then overnight, this person comes along who happens to be a white male figure, and then he's quoting that person.
Yeah.
And then MrBeast, and then quoted the MrBeast can cancel. So maybe it's true. All right, maybe it's not dog shit journals. Maybe MrBeast is getting canceled because he's a white man who came in and solved this issue of no access to water for 500,000 people.
Yep.
Which I think we could all shake firm hands about and say, that's dumb.
Yep.
I think it's okay. I think if he's able to use his money and his resources to help people, I don't give a shit if he is white.
I guarantee you, if you could look at parallel universes of people with 208 million subscribers on one channel on YouTube, probably 500 million subscribers in total. If you look at people that have the amount of pull and influential influence as MrBeast, if you looked at 1 million, 1 billion, 7 billion other universes where every single person, including myself, is in his position, there would be a very small minority that would do the same. I can guarantee you that they would be doing crazy videos that were clickable and contests and stuff that he's done before. They wouldn't be putting these little, let's fix fucking Africa. I mean, it's very, I guarantee you not a lot of people will be doing it, all right? So we are blessed to have MrBeast or Jimmy in the position that he's in. Because if it was somebody else, who fucking knows where we'd be.
or if he is 6'3", or if he does occasionally show pictures of himself shirtless looking quite ripped, but holding his balls somewhat hard. I have no problem with that because the good he is doing is more important.
Yep.
But that's not what actually happened. Like almost none of this happened. If we actually take a look at the Yahoo article, a lot of the first people quoted in this are just supporting MrBeast.
Yep.
In fact, this person right here is a prominent activist and said, every 5 years we get elected members of parliament and senators in Kenya a car that's worth $33,000, but we don't have money to drill boreholes for our people.
Yep.
So that just more so seems to be chastising the government. And then here's the quote from the activist who called out MrBeast. But let's actually look at the quote. Overnight, this person comes along who happens to be a white male figure with a huge platform, and all of a sudden he gets all this attention. It's a little frustrating, but it's also understanding the nature of how the world is. And then she praised MrBeast for shining the spotlight on the need for clean water supply, but warned the issue's sustainability. Because what happens is a lot of people come along, they'll build a well, they'll make a borehole, but then it won't be functional in 3 to 5 years, and then they have to go back to unsafe creek water or
Okay, so I can speak to this from a civil engineering perspective. I'm a mechanical engineering tech. I work at a civil engineering firm, okay? I know fundamentally when it comes to a mechanical or engineering system that there is a lifespan to these systems. For example, one thing that I have done is review CCTV footage of little tiny robots driving through manhole sewer pipes, right? Or storm sewers or whatever. All these pipes underneath the roads that you guys never see and never think about. There are probably 2 to 3 huge pipes underneath your road. You can go through them, and if they haven't been touched in 25 years, you will see debris, you will see cave-ins, things of that nature, right? The sustainability, I do genuinely understand. Because not only does this water have to be pumped from, I mean, probably 100 meters down? I don't know. I'm not sure how far down they have to put the wells, or had to dig for the wells, whatever. But it is sustainable. We do have, and sustainable completely against whatever water's there. Let's just say there's 22 years of water being pumped consistently there at the rate that that pump is running, then you have 22 years of water. That's fucking it. Like, that's not sustainability. That's just how much water's there.
River
right?
water.
But I'm talking about the mechanical system and how that is sustainable. You input X amount of wells, right? Let's say Jimmy puts 100 wells. The government would need to pay one person $50,000 a year. That's it. 50, and probably 100,000 because he'd be traveling a lot. $180,000 a year Canadian, probably 100,000 US, right? You pay them X amount, or wait, less. Anyway, to go to each of these sites, say you have 300 wells in Africa that will be checked. There's something called predictive maintenance and preventative maintenance. These two things are, and reactive maintenance, but we'll get there. Preventative maintenance is knowing that this pump is going to be pumping water up through, and there is a chance that this pump line can get so like sludge or rock, debris, dirt from down under can get stuck in this line. We understand that. Preventative maintenance would be once a month, this engineer, or once every 6 months, probably not once a month, Jesus, but once a year almost, honestly, but 6 months to a year, one time, you pump directionally different or differential to what it's pumping. So you send it back down in through to clear it, or you have a clearing device, something as simple as a fucking clearing or cleaner, like a pump cleaner. Go down through, clean it out, done. That's it. If you can just put more, if you can put like 200 psi's of pressure down that pipe, it should clean itself. And if it doesn't, there are ways to do that. There's predictive maintenance. Preventative maintenance will be doing something to prevent it from catastrophically failing. Predictive maintenance is saying, okay, well, I know this is going to happen. So we know that every 6 months, this pump is going to stop working. So every 5 months, we should clean it. And then there's reactive maintenance where, fuck, the pump doesn't work. We don't know why. You get an engineer in to fix it. You can't tell me that $100,000 a year, when we're spending trillions in the world, you can't tell me that $100,000 a year isn't worth millions of people having drinkable water. You could pay me $50,000 a year to do predictive and preventative reactive maintenance on these pumps, and I'd do it. There is someone out there like me in the engineering field that would do preventative and predictive maintenance on these pumping systems. So yes, there is sustainability. Does that mean that there's an overhead cost or not? There's an overhead cost when you have to implement them. Sure, $100 million. It's probably not. But let's say $100 million each well, right? $100 million. Let's just be safe. Okay, sucks. The government prints money. Who fucking cares? You just gave drinking water to Africa. Fuck the $100 million. Now you need to think about how much is going to be to maintain this a year. You could probably say $1 million a year and it doesn't matter. $100 million over 100 years to give millions of people drinking water? We're spending more on the army. Anyway, I'm getting too deep into it. It is sustainable. It is. Taking out the amount of water that's actually in. I mean, there could be a limited amount of water. The pumping systems are sustainable. You can replace them every 25 years. You can clean them every year. You can check on it every month. We even have vibration analysis systems that go onto wind turbines, for example. We put them on different sections of wind turbines, which I actually learned about and I could work in, but I choose not to because I'm kind of... Anyway, don't worry about it. That every single... You can have them from every single second of every single day to once a day. It'll check the readings, and if there is a difference in the vibration that this vibration analysis device actually feels, then it'll tell you and be like, there could be a bearing gone in this. Or the bearing could be getting to catastrophic failure or simple failure. It could just be starting to fail. And instead of that wind turbine being completely out of commission for a week because that bearing fails and blows the motor, now we know from vibration analysis that in 3 weeks, this bearing is probably going to go. So go fix it. Now it's down for an hour and that's all. There's ways to do that. Yahoo is fucking... Not Yahoo, but whoever this is, whoever this fucking person is, out to fucking lunch. You don't work in engineering. You don't work in sustainability. You don't work in predictive or preventative maintenance, vibration analysis and such. Shut the fuck up. If you don't know what you're talking about, shut the fuck up. Because this is a horrible headline. Looks like this isn't going to be sustainable at all, and it's bullshit. Because the only reason that this pump and this well is not sustainable is the amount of water underneath the ground. Because I can guarantee you there's an engineer out there that you could pay $50,000 a year to make sure and do preventative maintenance on each of these wells. Fuck you. That actually pissed me off. Because that's my career. And this person doesn't know what they're talking about.
Or whatever. So yes, that's fair. That's a good concern to throw out there. And if in 5 years all 100 MrBeast boreholes are no longer working and all those people have to go back to creeks, we can talk about it at that point. But I wouldn't really...
We don't need to. We foreshadow 20 to 30 to 40 years ahead for systems that we're building today. And you can't tell me the engineers weren't thinking the same. We're not talking about Joe Blow, whoever fucking said this. We're talking about people like myself that look at a system, and people at my firm that look at a system, and we do flow analysis, which takes days, and we do all the calculations to check to see if these flows and this amount going into this lift station, which a lift station is taking poop and pretty much lifting it so it can gravitationally pull it with a force main through your city to wherever it's going to go. Can this force main kind of, but lift station take the amount of poop that your city has and deal with it? Are we at an 80% threshold with our design? Fuck, we probably shouldn't be, because in 40 years, due to 13 to 17% growth in population over 40 years, we're going to be at 90 to 105% cap. So in 40 years, you're going to have to get a full system, $1 million to $2 million on a small community, full redesign. We're smart enough to do this. We're smart enough to see these things before it happens. People aren't throwing pumps in the ground in Africa and just saying, fuck them. We're making these pump systems, and I can guarantee you, Jimmy made sure that his engineers, at least his team made sure that these were not sustainable but could be maintained. There is no way he made these 100 wells and was stupid enough to not have a consult from a mechanical engineer. And if Jimmy sees this and he wants me to do something about it or look into it at all, I'd be fucking honored. I'm sorry that these things are written. It's just, I feel like a doctor when someone's bullshitting about vaccines and stuff. You just don't fucking understand. Unless you're in this industry, you don't get it. Sorry, I'm very emotional on this. Because I really understand this, and it's unfortunate that MrBeast is getting painted in a way that's ridiculous. I mean, this is just factually incorrect, and well, it's another thing for us to go back every 3, 4, 5 years from now and see that if it's functional. You're telling me that no one is gonna look at this well for 5 fucking years? What? Even if it's not an engineer and it's just some fucking like Joe Blow that has never touched engineering, even it could be a doctor in Africa that's doing it. It doesn't matter if you're 6 years old. You can tell if the pump's PSI or amount of pressure per square inch of water is lowering because it's becoming I don't know the word, just filled with dirt and shit. Then okay, you're doing your own predictive maintenance or maintenance. You're just like, oh, it seems like the water pressure is going down. Wow, it could have something to do with the pump or the pump lines. We should get an engineer. Wow. Anyway, it's just sorry if it's cringe.
Call this a scathing activist lambasting MrBeast. The only thing that I think would perturb people is the white male figure part of it. Why is race being thrown into it? And that's a whole nother issue with, I think, a lot of people maybe.
I'm sorry, I'm going to go again. Not with engineering. People just don't believe that there's racist people out there towards white people. Like, I get we're the majority. We are privileged. I am blessed. I get that. Doesn't mean you get to be racist. Even if it's white on white. It doesn't fucking matter. Why are we being racist? Why are we being racist towards a white male? Why are we racist against a black male? Why are we racist against a Chinese person? Nobody should be fucking racist. White male figure should not be a saying in this. Even if it was black male figure, in a positive light, it should not be said. It should be a man, or a woman, or a philanthropist, or a YouTuber. YouTuber. Just say YouTuber. Why does he have to happen to be a white male?
In Kenya being proud and different things going on there.
Yeah.
But as a whole, I don't really find to be an attempt at canceling MrBeast. I think it's someone who's just asked their thoughts, who is also helping tackle similar issues. Yeah,
and right? Let's say that they are in that realm of living. They also probably haven't had enough time to sit down and really think about it. Or they're going along with whatever everybody else is saying.
But then, if we look at back at this quote, Colin also says, others were upset that MrBeast highlighted the failures of the Kenyan government that maintain the stereotype that Africa is dependent on handouts and philanthropic intervention. Others. All right, well, let's take a look at who these others are. It turns out they are one other, a Kenyan politician named Francis Gito, who criticized MrBeast, saying that, like he said here, Africa is dependent on handouts and philanthropic intervention. That's one dude.
Yeah.
It's literally one person. He's right here. This is the video he made. And let me tell you, he got clowned on. Yeah. He's got 1.1 million views, 1.1 K likes, 1,000 quote retweets. People were not happy with the video that he made here. He's also just an aspiring politician, which is just different phrasing for a dude. Aspiring politician's not a job. It's the hope for a job. I'm an aspiring YouTuber with 10 million subscribers. I'm not that. What's the point? What is the purpose of this? This all started
That's funny.
because of the sentence activists, which isn't even accurate, by the way. The activists did not say that this helped perpetuate the stereotype that Africa is dependent on handouts.
Yeah.
That's what the aspiring politician said.
Yeah.
The activist, singular, said a
We're supporting MrBeast.
whole different sentence. This is just a misquote.
Yep.
It's a malattributed quote. I don't know why the fuck Yahoo News did that. But because Yahoo News did that, then Colin showed up and did the same fucking thing. Colin showed up and he started quoting activists and others. But that's not right. It was one person, one activist. It was one politician that was quoted.
Sure.
And then all of a sudden there's like this huge group of people who are like, MrBeast getting fucking canceled. This makes no damn sense. I bet it's the liberals. I bet it's the liberals unhappy that a white man's successful. It's not it. That's not what's going on, even a little bit, tiny bit at all. They're not following the SPJ Code of Ethics, by the way, if you're a journalism student or an aspiring journalist.
I'm pretty sure Ludwig did an English degree or journalism or something. That's why he has so much information here. And that's why he can delve deeper like I did with the engineering.
You should be following the 4 pillars. I'm going to teach you it. You should remember this shit. And you ever see a journalist who's acting up, you tell them, hey, where are your pillars? Because they'll fucking know. That Yahoo journalist should know. Seek truth and report it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the fundamental. That's the basis of everything we report on. Act independently, right? We're not supposed to just retweet what other people are doing. You're trying to do your own fucking thing here.
Well, I'm a React YouTuber, so I'm not a journalist. W Ludwig, W video. Go check it out. Let me see what people are saying. So basically nothing happened and people are making a big deal out of it. As a Kenyan myself, I know the amount of corruption present in Kenya and how it's hindering development in Kenya. MrBeast action improved its inefficiency. Thank you to MrBeast for doing more than the government. Oh, okay. I thought MrBeast actions were insufficient, but never mind. I love the quote, aspiring politician is a job and hope for a job. Yep. I feel bad for the activists. Must suck having their words twisted. Yeah, true. As a journalist student from Poland, I love that you're calling it bullshit. Yep. And I'm hoping that, aside all the hate comments I get, usually on my YouTube videos saying I'm a dumb fuck, which pushes the algorithm, so go ahead, that you guys will also see that I have a side of engineering with this as well. There's not just these articles with journalism. It's fundamentally people in these articles are speaking on behalf of an engineer. And they're just fucking not. I'm not even an engineer. I'm an engineering technologist. I'm not pretending to be an engineer. But I work in an engineering firm in which I do a lot of engineering work. The only difference between me and the engineer is that I can't stamp and push the work off. I have a lot of say for what happens. Not so much for what happens yet. But I have a very fundamental understanding of all the systems. And how things work and the back end of the business. So, anyway, I'm sorry I came out with so much passion with that, but it just really annoys me when I see people speaking on behalf of engineering in a way that makes things look worse than they are. We're going to have to go back in a few years and these things aren't going to work. Just not true. Okay. I think what Jimmy did is incredible. I think MrBeast is a W. And, yeah, thanks for watching the video. I appreciate it, boys. Oh, thank you for watching the video. Sorry I got so passionate. I fucking hate all of you. Bye.